I'm going to get a camera.
Okay, I
Just give me
wanted
2
to
seconds.
make a statement.
Here we
I
go.
have a statement that I handed out that I have to hand out today, and you know, I want to start talking about the pleasant shopping environment that they want people to have while many hundreds of thousands are dying. We went to the mall at the time that 4,000 soldiers, American soldiers, and 1 million Iraqis, the tallies would have died from the nutritional problems, from gunfire, from explosions, from bad water, from illness. Many of those who've died are children. And as you could see on my sign now, and I'm not sure this was accurate when I left this morning, there are 4,080 American troops dead. We don't know how many more Iraqis. There are scores every day. For each one of our troops that die, there are scores and scores of Iraqis that die. A country that never did anything to us at all. And you know, we were lied into this war, and my feeling is that the real criminals are not myself and Don, but the criminals are sitting in Washington. I think that
yes, that's right.
I think that it's very necessary for more and more people to defy this immorality. I really realized as I was standing in the middle of the mall with people walking by, some looking, some just with their heads down, deliberately trying not to be looking, how totally immoral and destructive this war is to our society. It's obvious that it's destructive to Iraqi society, but the more that we engage in this immoral war, the more it corrupts the moral fiber of this country. I went, just as an aside, last week shopping in King Cullen, and what I saw there were of a new summer toy for children. Now is when they bring out the water toys for the beach. Was something called a balloon grenade, which it says on the toy is for ages 4 to 7, and it's in the shape of a khaki-colored hand grenade and looks very realistic. This is the militarization of our society. The more that we carry on this unjust, unneeded, wasteful war, the more it corrupts us, the more it hurts us, the more it hurts our troops. I want to say quite a bit about our troops. I've been reading the names of the dead like many here have been. Probably all people here have been reading the names of the dead on corners around Long Island and around Suffolk County. And it's, as you do it over time, it becomes such a gripping experience in the sense that it almost takes over your heart. You pay serious attention to it. You listen to each name in your heart. You hold those names close to you. You remember that each name has a family, has a whole network of people that love them, just like the Iraqis do. And that each human being is not a statistic, is not a number, but is a person who had hopes, who had dreams, who had thoughts, who had plans, who had people that loved them. And the more that you read the names and you watch the numbers go up, the more that you realize that the names themselves are a defiance of this war. Just by the fact that these people are dead needlessly, the act of reading their names is a defiance. And the proof of that is that in the mall, as I was reading the names, they came up with this pleasant shopping environment statement. That was the head of security in the mall. That's what they want the American public to do. Not be the involved citizens that Jefferson talked about, not be the people that be involved in creating policy and setting things right when they're wrong, but being sort of drugged out with commodity goods, wandering through the mall, staring at the items that now, I might add, hardly anybody can afford to buy anymore because of the price of gas. So I want to read aloud my statement because I probably should be getting ready to go in pretty soon. And the statement that I wrote is entitled, "The War in Iraq Continues to Destroy Lives." The war in Iraq continues to destroy lives, both American and Iraqi. There is a higher law than creating a pleasant shopping environment. The real criminals are the members of this administration who lied us into war and are responsible for all these deaths. I refuse to stop reading the names of the dead because I felt the loss of life needed to be recognized, not swept under the rug. These soldiers have suffered, as have their families. The wounded will face problems associated with this war for their whole lives, as will the Iraqis. I might mention that Chris Goldsmith, when he gave his talk about his time in Sadr City as a veteran of Iraq, he talked about the Iraqis that were suffering from stress syndrome as well. That's very often not mentioned. There are 3 million displaced refugees. The soldiers have not had the veterans' benefits, disability, or support they deserve. Politicians who talk about supporting the troops then vote against benefits. This is the president's policy, to use these soldiers for his own purposes. Meanwhile, his crony corporate friends, Halliburton, the Carlyle Group, Blackwater, and many others make billions, while the soldiers get paid on the cheap. Is it a coincidence that gas in my neighborhood was $4.19 this morning and is going up every day? All these administration figures are oil men or women, and those that are not have connections to big oil and military contractors. They are getting richer from this war. I do not think it is a coincidence, but the result of war inflation caused by high demand for oil due to all the vehicles used in the war. The high cost of oil feeds inflation so that all necessary goods like food, clothing, medicine are going up. The troops are not made of the children of those who promoted and engineered this war, but of the children of working families who want a better life. Only a small group sacrifice again and again as their stock lost, and for no good reason. Thomas Jefferson pointed out that in times like these, it is the citizens' responsibility to set right those policies that hurt the people. The economy is tanking. Most people can't afford food, medicine, and gas, and these large interests make trillions. It is time to end this war and bring our soldiers back home to their families. The names of these dead stand as an indictment of the war criminals who manufactured an elective war that did not have to be. To read their names aloud in what should be a public space is not a criminal act. It is the war itself and those that created it that are criminals.
Right.
America is being destroyed by this war and these policies. We must be Valley Forge patriots, not summer soldiers and sunshine patriots that Thomas Paine referred to in Common Sense. And that's the statement. So, anyone who did not get a copy of my statement, I have hundreds of them.
By the way, Susan, the oil companies made $38 billion in the last quarter alone. Well,
And there's no money for benefits.
Half of the oil use in the United States, or half, is going to the war effort. Half.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
for being brave.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Susan, maybe before we go in, we can circle up and give quotes. Anybody might have
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'd like to throw it open to other people who want to say something about this war. And I'm going to go put this in the car and get ready. I'll be right back.
Could I get a statement, please? I was late.
Yes.
Oh, Sheila.
Hi, how are you?
Susan, before you go,
Okay.
maybe we could just pull everybody.